Okay, so this is part two of my changing the colored pineapple for Mindy in New York. And I'm going to do a third video after I charge my phone and print the shirt, and then we'll see what the finished shirt looks like. Um, so what I did is I exported this image, and I'm going to open it up into Photoshop. And in Photoshop, I need to edit this. So I've got a couple things going on here. Number one, my image is distressed, and if you remember my distress layer, I didn't talk about it, but it actually extended clear outside the image. So that's the distress layer. So that distress layer also exported with my image into Photoshop, and you can actually see parts of it extending to the outside of the image here. I'm just going to put a layer underneath, and you can see the speckling all outside the pineapple there. So all of that speckling is in my image. If I was to take this image and copy it and paste it and put it in an overlay like I do for sample t-shirts, um, all that speckling is going to be there. So I need to get rid of the speckling. I need to crop the image so it's better for printing. And then that way it'll be ready to print. So the first thing I'm going to do, so one thing I need to do actually is consider the speckling. How do I get rid of the speckling? In Illustrator, let's see, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually delete that layer. Okay. In Illustrator, they've got kind of a cool feature where you can pick something. So you can pick it, and then you can go to select and same fill color in this case, which is nice because if there's something that's speckled, what I can do is I can pick, let's say, pick the white part or pick the black part if I've got it black and white, and I can say go to select and like fill color, and it'll select all the speckling across the whole image, and I can just delete it just like that. Photoshop doesn't do that. So I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to select the white around the sunglasses and in the sunglasses so that around the sunglasses it's really clean. And then I'm going to do something within the blending options there. Whatever it's called. And I wish that I were the most correct with all Adobe terminology, but I'm not. Blending options right there is what I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my selection, my magic wand, and I'm going to select the white around my glasses and the white in my glasses so that I minimize the white that is left around the glasses. Now this isn't going to even fix all of it because I've got white in the middle of the glasses. Um, but this will cure some of it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this image. So I'm going to, when I originally made this image, I centered it on the sunglasses. So the sunglasses are centered, although the green at the top is actually not really centered. Let's close that for a minute. So one, I'm going to have to make sure the green doesn't extend over one of the sides here, which it doesn't look like it does. I'm just going to pull this in a hair here, and down at the bottom we'll pull that up a hair. And then we'll crop that. Control 0 will let me see the full image. Now the next thing I'm going to do is right click on my layer there. If you're not sure, if you don't have your layers open, it's Windows, Layers, then pick the layer you want, right click on it, blending options. And right here under this layer, I'm going to just pull this back probably about to 145. If I pull it back too far, I'm going to start losing my yellow there. 145 I should be fine, and I should get rid of most of that white. If I want to be sure, what I would do is put a layer behind this image, and then I should be able to see what's still pulling through. So like I said, around the sunglasses, where was able to select and delete, you really got rid of all the majority of the white. Where most of it was left was actually left around all of the distressed uh, little deals, markings, holes in the image. Let me go and just play with this for just a second and see just how far we can pull this and get rid of that white before our yellow starts disappearing. Now you see it, the white's disappearing really well around the yellow, but it's still not disappearing well around the black. And it takes clear up until, I've lost all my, I've got to pull it clear up here to 50 in order to get rid of all the white. So really, I'm not going to get rid of all that white around the black. I just need to make sure I don't exceed past about 30 here. I'm going to pull it back to 40, 240, in order to make sure I don't lose my yellow. And then I'm going to delete this layer that I put as a background here. And there you go. So I have my image there, and then I'm going to turn around and save this. And what I'll typically do is save it as, now I'll usually give it another name, but where this one has, that is not what I want, actually. I want to actually save this as a PNG right here. So where this one that I exported has the distressed speckles, I want to save it as the same name, so it's cropped like this image. You can see the background. This is the full size of the image here, where this is the full size of the image. I want it to look like this, not like this. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one right there and save it as a PNG. When I go in and I edit it in Photoshop and I play with these layers in here, it's going to automatically default to want to save it as a Photoshop file. So I have to go pick what type of file I want to save it as, and I'm not really interested in saving it as a Photoshop file. So there I go, I have that. And then what I'll end up doing is I'm going to pull this into my print studio, which this will be, it'll go in here, and I'll probably make it nice and big. This is EK Studio. EK Print Professional is what I use to print on the t-shirt. So this is kind of the interface between the printer and my computer. So this would be the print area on the shirt. Right up here would be the neckline. Down here would be towards the bottom of the shirt, and of course the shirt's going to extend further than that, and depending on the size of the shirt. But this is a youth small shirt, so the collar tends to be, when I use a standard layout, the collar tends to be pretty close to the top here. On a youth shirt, it's probably just on a youth small, which is what I'm going to print. It's probably just an inch or two below here. Each of these squares represents an inch. So I have about a 12 by 12 and a half by 16-inch plate here. I adjust the size of the image based on, by changing the scale here. So I could make the image really small on the shirt. I could make the image really big on the shirt. I can position it closer to the top. It's a youth shirt. I'm going to make it 0.5. And probably on the youth, I'm probably not going to make it quite as big. I would make it that big on the adult shirt. And I'll push that image up towards the top of the shirt. I could also move the image left and right if I wanted by adjusting this. The left right here. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. So it's all ready to print, and I am going to, I guess, go ahead and print this now, and then we'll take a look at it. We'll do a different video on the phone so you can actually see the shirt a lot better. So there we go.